Tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa.
This morning, at home, you don't do any sitting? No? Okay. Okay. Yesterday we went through one whole day. We have a question answer. Still, some people have not finished. Yeah, they have a few questions to ask. So we allow ourselves no more than 9:30 before we do our sitting. Okay? Just in case you have any question. We know that we can start our sitting. If there is, then we can have a short discussion. Any question about this practice?
So Bhante, what's the difference between absorptive concentration versus jhana? Is there a difference between absorptive?
Not absorptive, access.
Access, I'm sorry. Access concentration.
You see that access concentration, it is not too deep in a sense because the thought process, the maximum is only 7 jhana. Whereas the absorption concentration, which is jhana, absorption is jhana, is billions of jhana all continuously. So there's a specifically unspecific answer. Then in experiential wise, when during jhana, your mind stick to only one object. But excess concentration, it is possible that the mind, actually near jhana stick to one object, but it is possible you also you can apply on different objects. Then especially in vipassana practice, arising, passing, etc. So that is the difference. But excess concentration, it is not easy to maintain very high level. It's not easy because if you see, it's always like that. If your highest point is here, most of the time you say your level is here. But if you have entered into, let's say, not only first jhana, even fourth jhana or even arupa, then you emerge from that. It is easy to maintain this level. That is the reason, even though we don't practice vipassana with jhana, no, never. It's always emerging from jhana. But because you have entered into very high concentration, when you emerge, usually you can stay on a very high level. This high level is necessary to see the ultimate realities. So that is the reason you push high, then you come down here and use this part of concentration to do a vipassana. We don't do vipassana with high level concentration. That high level concentration is not for vipassana because vipassana object is changing. So as long as the object is changing, you cannot have very high level of concentration. But that boost is very helpful.
Yes.
But that's why it's also acceptable when people don't go to jhana, they up to excess concentration, they want to do vipassana. Yes, okay. No harm. Because you don't do vipassana with jhana. Even for psychic. You see? Psychic, same. You don't practice psychic. When people practice psychic, they are actually out of that jhana. But they practice psychic, they bring their mind up to the psychic consciousness. From emerging from that, they make a determination. Then, actually, let's say they walk on water. They don't walk on water while they are in the jhana. They walk on water, they are outside already. But because they have reached that high level, they make a determination. Let the water be like earth.
So when you say walk on water, you mean the astral body, right? It's not the actual body itself, but it's your fist, your mind, your body, right? Your mental body.
In your world, in other people's world, the water is water, but in your world, it is earth.
Yes.
And you actually walk on it, and people see you walking on water.
Not your physical body.
Physical body.
Oh, your physical body.
Yes,
I thought
yes.
it's the astral body. Oh,
Physical
wow.
body,
Physical
yes,
body.
it's possible. You can go through, let's say this one. If you can see this through, with the open eyes, this is a space, then you walk through the space.
Is
But
that
everyone seeing you're walking into the wall and go through the wall. But in your mind, in your world, you are actually walk through a space.
but you are
People don't see. People see this as a wall. You see it as a space, and you turn it into space for yourself.
but you are defining the natural law
No, not
of
define-
nature. You are changing.
Not defining natural law. This is another higher level of natural law, which the science hasn't come to it.
Okay. Okay.
Maybe one day science will. They say in Calcutta there's one psychic practitioner. He went through a war. They say that it's still there. I don't know. You can go and ask around in Calcutta. So the person practiced psychic. He could go through war many times. But somehow that day, particularly halfway when he went through, he got stuck and he died. So the body is still there. They say. I don't know whether they allow it for public to see. I see the photograph. Maybe you can search on internet. Calcutta walking through. Maybe halfway he went through. Maybe someone break his practice halfway. Someone find some way to break his practice halfway. So usually this kind of thing you should not show off. Yeah, because if you do, you can have some demons or Mara. Okay, since you are very clever, I do something to you. Halfway in your practice, break your concentration. Then suddenly, before you finish the whole thing. That's why in the, I think Visuddhimagga somewhere, it says that people who want to fly in the air, they first make sure they have a divine eye. They practice divine eye first before they fly in the air. So that once they fly in the air, they can see all the other bad beings coming to harm him, then he know how to manage. If you cannot see, that you can fly but you cannot see, usually easily. If a person can fly, he can easily see. But let's say if a person hasn't developed that, he just developed flying. So fly in the air, then some other demons you cannot see and come and attack you, then you just finish. So you have to do it properly, step by one step after another.
So during your practice, how can you differentiate between what is real, what is actually some divine sightseeing versus hallucination versus dreaming? So for someone who may be falling asleep and they don't know they are falling asleep, and maybe in that sleep they are dreaming and they think that they are seeing. Right?
How is my hand holding? Yeah, just ask you. Let's say you see, we test you. Okay, what happened to my hands now? Is it a fist, or is it a palm, or is it whatever?
You don't know.
If you can tell, they test it one after another. So people who had allowed themselves hallucination, it's possible. Once people have good concentration, it is easy, The perception, sometimes you can have all kind of wonderful perception.
Yes.
So half real, half
Yes.
not real.
Yes.
It happens. And sometimes because you connect to certain beings, they can also inject something in your mind. It's also possible. So that's why you have to be very careful.
Exactly. I do see that all the time, but I never take it very seriously, because for anything, just like jhana, it's written that you have to be able to repeat it constantly, right?
Yeah. So have to be very careful. That's why in the spiritual world, we always say the more you know, you don't know. Actually, yes. People who really practice well, they are very careful. People who start to show off usually are those who know a little bit. When they start showing off, they don't know the danger of showing off. There's a lot of danger. Once you start to have some experience with certain things, you start to know that there's a lot of danger can happen in between. Just like people who know Kung Fu. If you are very good, okay. But if you are no good, also okay. People bully you, just get a punch, okay, sorry, forgive you. Then people say, well, this is useless person, you want to fight. Then you just beg for your life. But if you know some and you don't know well enough, then you show off, then you get a big punch. That's a problem. Same. Any Kung Fu or psychic, whatever, it's like that. If you are not good enough, and you start to show, there's a lot of danger.
Bhante, for
for like someone we know that who has developed some concentration and has some psychic power, but now they are affected by Mara, how can we help those persons?
Usually, if it's a real psychic power, the psychic power will fall down. You know, those days there was a Samurai who could fly all over. You know, he could go and Pinapata, he always fly in the air to get for food. You know, his teacher said, no, don't do that. If you do that, one day you'll marry a wife with a single, you're blind wife. Is what I'm talking about. You know? Actually, his teacher is higher, but his teacher walked to get food. He fly to get food, you know. Eventually, one day he fly halfway, then he saw a girl taking a bath, then his lust arose, then his concentration fell down. He dropped. Not suddenly, not a big bump, you know. So eventually after that, he thought, oh, the girl is, his eye is good. But one day, one thing happened that he got fed up with his wife. He threw something at his wife and hurt the eyes, and then the wife went blind. Then at that particular moment, he realized, oh, my teacher predicted these things already. Actually, the teacher is higher psychic, but the teacher didn't show. You know, the student have a little psychic to show off. You know? That's the thing. So it is, if you want to help people, if the person has actual psychic, the person, if the mind get a little impurity possible, still maintain. But if there's too much impurity, then it is for sure the concentration will fall and he will lose his psychic power. If it's black magic, is different. Black magic using mantra and external beings' force, not their own personal force. But personal force of psychic depends on purity. Yeah. Without that purity, it cannot sustain. So for such people, if they actually have psychic and they fall down, usually he should feel humble and don't need to do anything. The person should humble down. But if still not, then how you want to help? I also don't know how to help. We don't know how to help.
So if they continue to have an illusions that about their own ability, there's nothing else we can do to help them?
How to? You must be able to point out to the person to know that it is hallucination, it is not real. Usually I just challenge them. For example, even my student who has psychic, practice was very good. And one time I just talked through the phone. He said, okay, now where I understand it. He said, she managed to give half correct answer. Then further, I asked further, then she couldn't get correct answer. So that means her vision is partial, not exact. Partially correct. It's also quite good, you know. You can get partially correct. It's thousands of miles away. You can get partially correct. But then I asked further and further. Then I told her, there's a risk. Your ability is not perfect yet. So it is good that don't simply talk about it too much, because there's a lot of mistake. And this student is very, very humble and very obedient. And warn her, and she has to be careful. Many people want to use her ability, but she will not use her ability without getting teacher's permission. This is powerful. Some people will put power, but this kind of person is safe because they have good character. So if people are proud, they will listen. That's the problem. So eventually they will fall down. So if it's a person with hallucination, you can check with the person. But usually it's good to let the teacher, let the person go through the proper training. Some people are so confident about their ability without even first jhana. No, here cannot practice. Cannot even achieve first jhana. Come up with all kind of abilities, kind of claims. It's very difficult. So I'm telling you, if you can't even attain first jhana, what psychic you want to talk about? Maybe sometimes there are certain beings relate with them. Maybe their past relatives passed on and give them some, dream. Like last time in the past, there was one monk who always dreamt, whatever he dreamt, he was proved to be correct. But eventually one day he offended, by mistake he offended the Deva, who gave him all the drink. Then this time the Deva said, I want to give him a false dream, gave him a dream that the king is going to die in 7 days. So he's going to talk about it. Oh, the king is going to die in 7 days. So he created a big havoc, in the palace, because everyone crying, our king is dying, which is wrong, which is not true. And after 7 days, the king still survived. Then the king just killed his monk, saying this monk lied. Actually, it's not his psychic, he got no ability. So this is also people who are not this kind of not real ability.
Based on what I heard from you and other students from Pao Sayadaw, it seems like it is very, it's actually possible to achieve jhana compared to some other teacher I have spoke with. That seems like jhana is a state that cannot be, is very hard or almost impossible to achieve for ordinary lay person like us. Is that true? Like,
it is possible. But you have to put in the right effort. Put in the right effort. Some kind of sacrifice must be. Sacrifice of worldly kind of things. If you have too much attachment with the worldly things, then how?
For a lay person, what other sacrifice can you make? Other, until someone become a monastic ordained, you still have to make a living and take care of the family and obligation.
Like one of our committee, the ex-committee member, her husband is also our key member, our central committee member. And then both practice, and she practiced well. And in order for practice, she actually resigned. I told her no need to resign. We let you take leave, without any responsibility. But she still feels she didn't want, and she resigned. And but her husband still in our committee, and eventually she has a strong urge to practice. Her husband support her, and her husband took care of her two kids, teenage kids. And she went to Burma to practice for 1 year, and she became temporary nun.
Wow.
She came back successful.
Oh.
Yeah. So this kind of sacrifice, the children also supportive. The children also my students. Also they are also come in our Dhamma class. So the whole family is supportive. And then she just went on. So these are kind of sacrifice must be. Husband and wife must be supportive to each other. If you can't, then don't try to have the best of both worlds. I think this is the wrong kind of thinking.
Yes.
I want to have the best of both worlds. If it is possible to be that smart, definitely I will be that smart. Who don't want? If you can have the best of both worlds, this also you enjoy, that also you enjoy. But it's not true. But people. So what we want to say is these are the courses necessary for this. So if you want this, you have to do the courses. Rather than, can I do away with a big chunk of the courses, 80% do away, 20% left, can I still achieve the same? And this is a very strange way of thinking, modern thinking. So you have to change your life in such a way. And another couple, also my students, he was a very famous chief engineer in China. He's a Malaysian. He went to China to work. He's a chief engineer who lead maybe I think a few I don't know how many, quite a big number of engineers under his leadership. But he found the big money, but he found so taxing, the hard work. So he decided to give up and come back and bought some land and plant oil palms, and then earn money, frugal living, and meditate a lot. And they also manage practice. So things like that. Okay. So any other questions? We have 5 more minutes left before we start. Any other things? Okay.
So how can we, as there are devas and deva realms, can Can negative beings impact us as well? If yes, how can we protect ourselves from negative beings or demons? Or if we are meditating, are we protected, or how do we?
You see, we also do a daily morning parita chanting. These kind of protective verses we do as a protection, keep our mind bright. Actually, meditation itself is a protection. If we meditate with a pure mind, our mind is protected. And we start with a very pure intention. That's why I start with the space training, so that your mind is free and spacious and open and without holding on to things, without wanting, without rejecting. So this kind of quality is helpful as a protection. And if your mind is bright, usually negative forces cannot attack us easily. Not easy. Or it is only the weak mind, or the mind with a lot of loopholes, a lot of weaknesses that can be attacked. Otherwise, cannot. And also, if people who don't have so much great kind of bad relationship with beings, usually not so much. But some people in the past always in a very fighting, relationship with other beings, then you may get more of these things happen. So metta is also important. You do a lot of metta, and maybe some kind of simple repentance, saying that, oh, I share my merits to all beings, and whatever I have done wrong in the past to all these beings, let me, please forgive me. This kind of sayings is helpful. So usually it cannot happen, but these kind of unseen forces creating trouble for practitioners. Almost, I think many practitioners experience some kind or another. Especially if you go to say in the forest. Yes, some kind of experience. Every practitioner has some story to tell if they want to tell. Just that if you have the Dhamma, your mind is bright, if metta, you accept karma, and usually this thing cannot turn you, throw you off. So some kind of protection, bright mind, selfless mind, non-self, then that thing can happen easily. But still we need the protection. Sometimes we lose our protection for some reason. For example, one time when I was in Sri Lanka, that day was very strange. In the morning I got up, very strange. Every day we do chanting. We do the Khanda Parita. But that particular day I did the Khanda Parita without mindfulness. Up to a point, I didn't realize that. I didn't realize the state of mind. I didn't realize that day my state of mind was very bad. But I didn't realize it. I went for Pindapata. And then I got attacked by a dog. Then I reflect. We're supposed to have the Khanda Parita to protect us. Then I reflect. Did I recite Khanda Parita? I forgot. To that extent, the lack of the mindfulness. The mind was completely off. Like doing chanting like mechanical, without full awareness. So I think, what happened to my mind today? So from that time onwards, if I happen that particular day, happen to recite Khanda Parita without mindfulness, then I will recite again and again until I recite it with full awareness to get the protection and power. So sometimes we lose our protection. There's a reason why we lose our protection. We used to have that protection. But when we lose our protection, usually because our mind is not in good. Usually, if something were to happen, sometimes early in the morning our mind is not right. Something wrong. So that's why it is good to every day refresh our mind with Dhamma, do the puja, every morning puja. Usually I try to do puja before I meet the world, before I communicate outside with the outside world, so that it becomes a protection. Sometimes we are not aware, somewhere in the sleep, something wrong, our bad karma happening. Then we start our day with a blur mind, with some kind of confusion. Most people, they may not be aware of that. But if you do a daily puja, we can check our mind. When we recite mindfully. If you recite mindfully, you feel that, let's say you recite Metta Sutta, then your mind will be full of love. Khanda Parita, your mind naturally will be full of love. So this kind of like washing the mind, before you see the outside world. So that cleansing is very useful for our meeting the outside world. So if I notice something wrong during I do my puja, then I check on what happened to my mind. Then I quickly go and meditate and refresh, so that before we do something, then bad things don't happen so easily in our days. Usually there's some sign. Something would happen usually has something to do with our mind quality that attract that experience to us. Whether you call it karma or whatever, there are some signs. So our mind is a sign. Okay. So now it's we start the time for meditation. Whatever happens, don't be drawn into a reaction. That is the requirement of space practice. Because most of the time people don't have this ability not to be carried away. Whatever happens, people always tend to react, and not to react is hard. So this space-like training is like telling yourself that you don't need to be carried away. Whatever happens, be unperturbed. So if you are unperturbed, not shaken by whatever that comes and whatever that goes, good or pleasant, unpleasant, then your mind becomes very, very strong in that sense. Not shaken, not carried away. So with that, you are in a position to make pure right effort, very pure right effort.
Just like not paying attention to.
No, not say you don't pay attention, don't get carried away. Not carried away and not paying attention to different things. You have to train yourself to know something, know things are happening, but you are not shaken. This ability you need to cultivate. You don't need to hide yourself from what is happening. You are aware, fully aware of what is happening, but nothing. You just don't get moved. This ability is an art of living, actually. If you have this ability, you can go a long way in life. Whatever happens in the world, happen outside, inside, you just don't get shaken. After you don't get shaken, it doesn't mean you don't respond to the situation, but you choose your response. You don't react out of no choice like a knee jerk. That's beyond your control. Most people, they react to life beyond their control. Hate, love, all beyond the control. But this space-like ability trains us, our mind, first not be shaken by anything that happens. Then after that, you are in a cool position, calm, then clear mind. Then that is the time you can apply your mindfulness and wisdom, and you can make right effort. You can put in the right input for your life and for anything you do, including meditation.
Okay. So during the practice of meditation, so if you lose the concentration, can you use the space again as many as you need it, or just only?
Yeah. You can use it again. Actually, it is a good support. Whenever you feel imbalanced, you just go into the space practice. If you are very proficient, just a few seconds. For training time, sometimes I need them do 1 hour. Once you're proficient, you just few seconds. The moment you feel you are carried away or anything, just get into a space like mindset for a few seconds. Then immediately you look at your situation. Sometimes maybe in business or whatever you find, you are challenged, tempted or whatever. Just go into space like you're watching your rival or your people, enemy or whoever, for a few seconds. Then you go into space like even with your eyes wide open, and then immediately, then after a few seconds, you come out, you look at it, and you realize that you are in a very good position to apply your wisdom. So this training is very useful. It was given by the Buddha to his son. It's very useful.
Which sutta is that, Bhante?
Rahula, Father, I show
The number 24?
Yeah. The Buddha gave earth, water, fire, wind, and space.
Yes.
So that I did. Then the first 4,
Yes.
I thought it's not. If I was to teach like that, it's too heavy for everybody.
I read that word, but I never connect until now. Thank you.
Yeah, that's the first sutta we taught.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
that to show to you that this is not, we get it from nowhere. It's actually has its basis in the Buddha's teaching. He got his own son. Train your God mind to have to be like a space.
During meditation, how do we remove the pain?
The pain will go off by itself. You don't need to remove. But you need to know what type of pain. If it is pain due to sickness, then you better solve it using the medical way or health way rather than meditation way. Meditation can, but in certain ways, certain situation, meditation technique can help for your health and remove the pain. But not easy to learn that at this moment. For example, if there's a pain, if you can break down the compactness of the pain, then that is one way you can solve the pain. But sometimes still you have to admit pain is part of our life, and sometimes if it is caused by karma, there's very little we can do about it. So the right attitude is don't add new input to aggravate the pain. You just let the pain there, don't react to it.
Second question: do we have to put our tongue towards the palate?
Oh, that is for qigong. I know. Not necessary, because this. But for people who are used to that, it is okay. I don't prohibit them from doing it, because they are so used to qigong. But most people, they already easily tense up during meditation. If you do that, even more tense. But for people who are used to that, the tongue goes up not because they tense up or using the muscles power. The tongue goes up because of qi flow. Up to a point, the tongue goes up. Just stick to the upper palate by itself because of the qi flow, and not because of a beautiful doing. So that becomes natural. That is no problem.
How about the hands?
Hands you can just put like this. But this is also something to do with the qi. They feel the feet. This is one chakra here. Some they do like that. So I have a habit of putting it together. I feel good. I feel symmetry. But not so important, because once you go into non-self, everything is only elements. You don't care about that. This is for people who care a lot about the prana flow or whatever. I'm not against that. If people who are used to that, it's okay. But if you purposely have to do it and then allow it to distract you, it's not necessary. You just focus, because the mind work is more important. But it's no harm doing that. Some people like to do like this, like the yoga. No harm. Usually we look at it, okay, people do whatever they like, as long as you do your main work, that's enough.
Bhante, so when we put attention to the place, are we also supposed to really notice the quality of the breath, like long and short, and because I find that if I try to notice that, then I'm trying to put a description of it, and it's actually pulling me away from the object.
Actually, not necessary. Actually, what the Buddha meant by long and short is actually like you're mindful, whatever it is, however it is. It is long, short, that's it. That long and short the instruction by the Buddha is actually meant to tell you don't need to control. Long, as long, short, as short. You don't need to control. But it doesn't mean that you need to classify, how many long breaths I have, how many short. No, this is not necessary. If you know the principle of jhana or concentration, it's meant to bring up mindfulness only. And it's also to remind you, that instruction is to remind you that you don't need to say which is better. You don't need to do it. Just be long or short, it doesn't matter. Just take it. But I need to be mindful. So no, the labeling is not important. Knowing the breath as it happens, that is important. So then there's the instruction for whole breath, sambhakaya. Sambhakaya, whole breath body. It means the same thing. Just be more careful. The Buddha would not say at the beginning, give a very instruction, be very careful. It will be, people will tense up. So the Buddha say, oh, know your breath, in breath, out breath. And then long and short. Then whole breath. These are all the same thing. And then the last one, with a little inclination towards peace, towards subtle breath. A little inclination. We don't control, but we incline. If you incline your mind towards a quiet breathing, then somehow it moves in that direction faster. But if you want it, then holding on, you're craving, that's a problem. If you incline, just incline, it's okay.
So what's considered a quiet breath? What is a quiet?
Oh, very subtle, very fine, very soothing, very peaceful. And up to a point, in and out may not be that clear, but just an air there. You don't feel very clear in and out, too subtle. That is a subtle breath, quiet breath. That's the time Nimitta is about to arise.
Bhante? So for sometimes like going into meditation, like for example after lunch, the mind is kind of dull, kind of like heavy and dull. So is there anything we can do to kind of prepare so it doesn't sit and like one fall asleep?
Eat mindfully. If you eat mindfully, you don't get dull after eating. If you eat without mindfulness, all the good taste and overeat also. In fact, those days I found my sitting immediately after lunch is the best sitting. You know why? I used to be a very tense person. I strive very hard. I was so hardworking, I slept every day 3.5 hours or 4 hours. 3.5. And I every day did headstand, 1 hour or 45 minutes to 1 hour. You can imagine. I was like an Iron Man, working so hard on myself. Overwork, and I didn't know how to relax. So then one day, one friend, he heard my meditation report, but he was more advanced than me. He was a newcomer, just newly joined the team. Then he had a lot of sympathy for me. He came to me one day. He said, "Can I talk about your meditation?" I said, "Okay." Immediately I came down, sit on the same level. I was a senior. So I said, then he told me, "Bhante, you're too tense." He didn't realize that all you need to do is just be 好命, Chinese 好命, good.
Good life.
Good
life.
Good life.
Yeah.
Just enjoy good life and relax, your meditation will progress. Oh, I said, yes, so easy. Because I already overworked. And to me, relax and give yourself comfort, Then when I realized that I need to relax, I asked myself, when can I relax? Oh, it seems that the most relaxed time is after lunch, after food. Then I decide, if every day 5 sitting, every sitting after lunch is the best sitting. So if I have 1 good sitting, relaxed sitting, and 4 10 sitting. So I might as well, if I can eat 2 times, I will have 2 good sitting, and 2 to 3 is better than 1 to 5, 1 to 4. The ratio. So I decided to take breakfast. So those days when I took 1 meal, I was so highly respected, by my fellow holy companions, wise companions. They always want to offer me fruits or whatever, So after that, I took 2 meals, no more such respect. But it doesn't matter, it didn't matter for me. I don't practice for respect, because they admire you. When you are an Iron Man, people always admire you. But I don't live for admiration. I live for the progress in the Dhamma. So I remember first day I took the breakfast. I was standing there queuing for a breakfast. Pao Sayadaw walked past. He hold my arms. how are you? Because thinking something wrong, with this Iron Man, maybe felt sick, but I was just small. I knew my mind was very clear. I just want one more session of relaxed sitting. So because of that, after that, in 2 weeks' time, I made significant progress and breakthrough in my practice. So I didn't know how to relax. So after meal is a time that for people who don't know how to relax after meal, it's good. It's good because maybe the blood flow go to the, they say, go to the stomach, whatever, so you won't clog up so much of it. So I feel, then relax and very soothing. Then I practice very well. So actually, after meal is a good time for sitting actually, but people always want to go and lie down. After meal is a good time for sitting. If provided you don't overeat, you eat mindfully. Either you eat mindfully, or you focus on the breath, or for monks, sometimes we contemplate that Patisankha yogi. So I'm not eating for beautification, not for enjoyment. So this is also eating mindfully. So if you eat mindfully, then you don't overeat. Then the mindfulness will carry forward to the sitting. You won't feel sleepy after eating.
I think that's what people do now when they're stressed. They eat, but they don't realize that not to be mindful, and so
you
get big.
Yes.
Some of us have been meditating for 10 years or more, and some of us are very new, and some of us are not too new, been around, but struggling in practice because of other circumstances. And would you give us maybe some encouragement why we should practice meditation continuously and also its benefits, so that way the members, when they go home, they can get something out of it?
A lot of benefits. First, meditation give you the benefits of being happy yourself without relying on other people to provide you happiness. I find this is the most precious. Once I realize that I can happy independent of outside things, then I realize that I can make people happy easier. You say when you go to war, the first thing is to make sure that you cannot be defeated. Once you are in an undefeated position, 不败的 position, undefeatable position, then there's a time you can win the war, So for me, I train my mind. I find that to put our happiness in other people's hands, in other people's eyes, how they look at us, in other people's perception, in other people's recognition. I find this, I don't like it. It's a weakness. I don't know, from my childhood, I had this kind of tendency. I sense any weakness in me, I just feel tired of weakness. Any recognition you want, you crave for recognition, then the person will use the recognition to manipulate your emotions. I noticed that. So I was sort of some kind of rebel against this, people, and then, people play emotions too much, and to manipulate other people. So I don't like this. So I train my mind that no way, I will be happy myself, regardless of how people regard me, they want to treat me well. Of course, I appreciate people's public opinion. We recognize that we care about the not to say we don't care about other people's views and their sentiments. We just should not be carried away. So I train myself. So meditation is something that we can derive happiness easily just here. Can give you so much happiness here, peace and happiness. Why not? So like that. So I actually find a lot of happiness when I notice I'm not shaken by how people look at me. But at the same time, I have good listening ears. When people say something, I really sincerely I want to listen. I would like to be convinced, but I don't like to be pulled around. That I do a lot. pull me around, I won't give it. But if you convince me with very good, sound reason, then of course, we don't want to be proud and, stubborn. It is foolish to be stubborn. We like to be flow down. Chinese say 从善如流. When people tell us something, 从善如流, people tell us something good, we should flow very smoothly. But to pull around is like enslaved. It's like an enslavement. You just pull me around. Why should I be enslaved? I never allowed this thing to happen since I came to my birthday of 18 years old. I told my parents, I declared at home, no, from today onwards, I'm my own master. Before that, you all need control. Now, today onwards, I will control my life. But please advise me. I told them, please advise me if you notice anything I can do better. Please advise me. I'm always ready to listen. But no pulling around, no forcing, no controlling. So this meditation gives me this kind of happiness, independence, really independence. I especially enjoy the kind of happiness which is not shaken. I see people's happiness easily shaken by other people, what people do or not do. This meditation gives us this kind of strength. Art of living, I think. Art of living. And then further from there, there's a lot of benefits regarding this strength of mind, EQ, emotional intelligence, the modern days people call it, and a lot of benefit. Then from there, move on. When I came to realize that the Buddha's teaching can be verified, and we are still lucky, in the era when we can really get the Buddha's teaching. So to me, this is very precious. And later I came to realize that this meditation is the key, the first key to the key box. When you open up the key box, you got a lot of keys inside, and then you can open up a lot of treasures, And I felt this is a wonderful thing. So I find it gave us happiness here and now, and also future, assurance for future. Today I can confidently tell you that for my life, I have no kind of blur or kind of uncertainty. Chinese we say Maṅgala. Chinese. You know Chinese? Maṅgala. Dhamma. Like Maṅgala means you are in a fog, you don't know which direction you should move in your life. Blinding. I know, veil, you get a veil in your life. You don't know which direction to go. In my life, I don't find this anymore. I'm very sure which direction and how to go, how to reach it. I'm very sure really. I'm no doubt about it. I don't need to believe in anybody to say where I hit. So this by itself gives us a kind of happiness, a kind of sureness. We may not reach there yet. We may still have our weakness, our imperfections inside. But we know, when I see some imperfection in me, I'm very confident. I know how to get rid of it. I know I'm getting nearer and nearer. So this gives a lot of comfort, and assurance. I don't beg for assurance from other people's recognition, how they look at me. If everyone agrees, say, oh, you are good, Maṅgala, you are good, then I feel good. When they say you are bad, I feel bad. No, I don't think like that. Very much independence. I really feel independent inside, really. It's because of this Dhamma practice. So it's wonderful actually. So in fact, sometimes some people ask, some monks, Sangha brothers ask me, Bhante, why every time wherever you go, many people ordain as monks and nuns, at least temporarily. They make me think, what happened to me? I went to China, I went to Malaysia, everywhere. Even I brought a pilgrimage. So many people ordained as monks and nuns, during my pilgrimage. I just asked, why? What happened? Then I realized one thing. I cannot find any other reason. One thing is I'm a happy monk. If you are happy, naturally people like to, to learn from happy person. If you are not happy yourself, how? You have to. If you are happy monk, it must be. If monk life is not good, why should you become monk? If it make me so unhappy, why should I choose an unhappy life? No, it's not like that. So this practice, actually, this is the practice that makes us happy. It is not a robe, not a vinaya, not because I don't eat dinner, I'm happy. No. Of course, now I realize, lighter, but it is a practice. So like that. I really enjoy my monk life, frankly speaking. I really enjoy. But I don't live the city monk life. I cannot live city monk life. So I like nature. I like meditation. I like reading texts and books. I like sharing Dhamma with people, and I like to see how my presence can help other people's life to be better. And I have this kind of satisfaction if I go anywhere. I find my presence can, whatever I share, can make people's life brighter and happier. I find joy in that. So this makes my life happy. So one of the reasons is meditation. So this anapanasati, very easy. You just focus here, happy. The Buddhas, actually all the past Buddhas, they were brilliant. So simple, I think, we should be carrying with us all the time. This is a source of happiness that people don't know. This is a great source of happiness. You can experience a Brahma happiness, not a sensual happiness, Brahma happiness.
So, in day-to-day life, how much is the minimum time we should practice meditation? And should we sit minimum for 1 hour, or like you can sit half an hour twice? What's the
3 minutes minimum.
3 minutes?
3 minutes. I always tell people, because 3 minutes means it's never enough. Some people say, oh, Bhante Maṅgala teach people to meditate for 3 minutes. No, of course not. But modern days we realize that modern people's lives sometimes can be so exhausted. Even 5 minutes is hard work for you. You just fall down. So if you have a 3 minutes meditation, you tell, there's no excuse for 3 minutes. You can't afford 3 minutes. No matter how tired you are, just sit down there. Even though you can't focus properly, you are too tired, exhausted, at least you don't forget. 3 minutes means you're not forgetting your job. And then early in the morning, you get up, no matter how rushed you are to work, 3 minutes is okay. Then before you do anything. So if you remember your meditation, then of course you won't have only 3 minutes in the weekend, other days, So I would put it the minimum 3 minutes. You tell yourself, no, I will never forget meditation in my life. So up on top, surely when you have more time, half an hour, 30 minutes, 3 hours, can be. But give yourself a minimum so that you protect your habit. You don't forget. Because once you forget, you break away from these habits, it's so hard to start. Some people tell me, it's very hard. I've stopped, how long? 2 months already. No, very hard to resume the effort. So you tell yourself, every day I will meditate morning and night, at least 3 minutes morning, 3 minutes before you sleep. Minimum.
Some scriptures or religions say that is like morning 2 to 5 best time to meditate, because in Hinduism, in different parts, some of the spiritual teachers, they tell 2 to 5 is the best time to meditate. Is that true? I mean, of course not true, but they say wake up early at by 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock. Is that?
For me personally, it seems true. But I don't know about other people. If I'm not teaching time, sometimes we sleep more, because I'm not tired, some are answering. But if I'm alone, usually I sleep very early. I get up very early. I find that's the best time to meditate. But I don't think my experience may count for everybody else. Because I know some people, they find their mind clearest, at midnight, like from 10 to 1, something like that. So it's also possible. So I usually tell people to experiment with themselves. If you live freely, live naturally. I accept my students if they wake up, they sleep later and they wake up later and then they miss the first session, but they add one more session after everyone goes to sleep. And also people of different age, younger people, they sleep more, older people, they sleep less. It's natural. So it is okay. I myself, I'm very liberal in the monastery management. As long as you take care of yourself, you don't eat people's offerings for nothing. You do some work, you keep your sila samadhi, it's enough. I don't force people to how much they have to meditate. I don't force, but I just encourage them. Usually, self-motivation is better. And I think our people mostly are generally very motivated by themselves. So I think people can be different. Some people, they do a lot of good early in the morning. Then the morning tend to have good parami ripening. And some people do a lot of good in that. I think people can be different. Something affected by the previous lives. Sometimes I ask when my students tell me daytime they are very sleepy and nighttime they are very alert. I ask them, check to see whether your previous life you were the owl or the bat. That is tend to do like that. For me, my nature is even from childhood. I always sleep early and get up early. Students, all throughout my students' life, I woke up 4 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 2, 3 o'clock, take a bath. In the tropical area, no problem. We don't take cold water bath early in the morning. Then I start studying early in the morning. That's my habit. So that habit is very fitting for monk life. But I think for computer work, you sleep late, huh? In America, I heard they say they sleep after 7 o'clock to 12. After everyone.
Yeah, some people are that.
I can't. I think I will die very quickly. So I think people are different. But I will let them live a natural life. If they associate with nature more, then let's see how things work out. I usually want to put my students in the nature, like Himalaya or whatever, live in the nature. So I say I don't force you. I want you to organize your life naturally, your own way. Then mostly their habits change. Because when they live together in nature, when they heard the bird sound, that's a good time to wake up, something like that. So mostly people live naturally. If they live naturally, usually majority will get up early and sleep early. I think majority of people, except a few. So if these are the few exceptions, I respect their difference. I respect people's differences. People are not the same. We cannot force people to be exactly like us. That's not fair to them also. Because they have their mental and physical and karma make up all the thoughts. Okay.
Usually when we practice, I see a lot of the practitioners started not to deal with human beings because their nonsense, their chit-chatting maybe become musawata, white lies or nonsense, joking around, and some practitioner will turn into be like samatha, not wanting to deal with other human beings. How can we not become like that?
The question is some people, because of practice, doesn't like to associate with others.
Like pit vaja, like not talking and try not to deal with other human beings.
It is not wrong if a person turn into monastic. Yeah, it's not wrong. For monks, you don't like to talk with people, it's okay. You know, be quiet, secluded, meditate for liberation. That's okay for monk. For monastic, this is perfectly alright. You know, but for sometimes, for example, when we teach, you know, or when we go out, then I actually don't like to talk to people. I'm by my nature born introvert. I'm a very introvert person from childhood. But my mother made me have the ability to deal with outside world. But even today also, if I can stay in the cave, I don't need to see people. I'm happier in the cave and meditate. You know, I don't need to talk to people. I prefer not to talk to people. But if it's okay, if people talk to me, if I need to deal with the world, I cultivate the ability to do it. Especially if sometimes, you know, I know, you know, I can understand the sentiment when you listen to all the Buddha said animals stop, you know, all the talking. Sometimes I learn to put up with it. And sometimes, you know, people want to voice out through a lot of rubbish, you know, they are unhappy with the government, you know, especially right now. You know, in Malaysia, you know what's happening. You know, oh, people are very unhappy, all my friends are thrown out, you know. So, now we listen. You know, we also listen. Sometimes we also don't like, but we listen. And then sometimes I notice that whatever topic people talk about, I cultivate the ability to from there and then that topic, nonsense or whatever, to direct, to show some Dhamma light there. You know? So I usually let them go one round, last about half an hour. Then the person feels satisfied, okay, got a good listener, and I give one or two Dhamma at the back. Then somehow slowly. So we have a clear comprehension of purpose and suitability. We guard our mind. Okay, people can deviate very far from the Dhamma, but if we don't deviate, we keep our clarity within, then no problem. No problem. Yeah, I notice in the suttas also very often that Buddha, you know, when people talk about this and that, about wife, family, whatever, the Buddha would just, you know, bring Dhamma. You know, without telling people off. You know, we don't need to do that. That ability is helpful.
Does that apply to lay people who has to go to work almost every day? Sometimes I don't feel like, you look so nice today. Well, that sounds fake and I don't seem like necessary. But it's necessary in the workplace.
No.
I think nice clothes today. I feel I don't like to start doing that a lot anymore.
I think we don't need to copy exactly people's way. I think with metta, you will find your own way. You know? Yeah, sometimes we don't. For me, it's to fake it out also very hard for me. But we can do our own way. You know? People will appreciate our way as long as it is a way with metta. You're loving kindness, any way people will like it. As long as you're loving kindness. Sometimes a simple smile, you know. Yeah, you don't need to. Yeah, I don't know how. So, for example, in America, people are more expressive of themselves. You know, people use very bombastic kind of expression. Wonderful! You know. So at first I felt uneasy, but okay, now I'm comfortable in the audience. But I don't say the same. But I just smile, oh, maybe we're happy. Okay, have a nice day. This I can say, no problem. You know? As long as you have metta, don't worry. You let your expression maybe be different from other people, it doesn't matter, but metta, people will like it. Yeah. People will sense your metta.
How come for me, for example, meditations can be put a lot of stress on the body? Is there a reason behind that?
Maybe I think you should do more space like practice, you know, until otherwise because certain things you need to clear. If you have not clear, then and you put on top of that you have to give yourself a duty, that it becomes stress. You know? If you use meditation to help you to clear up, then it is lightening. But if you let your meditation be another burden, a duty to fulfill on top of the unclear stuff is within, then it becomes more burdensome. So if you do space, like you say, I don't meditate, I just do space, then let all these things flow out. Physically and mentally, whatever, you just breathe in, breathe out. Sometimes you can visualize all these negativities flow out from the pores, every pores, You can visualize it. Then after that, that's only for deep breathing for a short while, maybe 10 deep breath. Then after that, you just do nothing, calm and go. Then naturally our mind and body phenomena will settle down. And after that you meditate. Otherwise, if you what you really need, urgently is to clear up some certain things inside. And then if you give it, while it is not unclear, it's still unclear, you want to give it a burden, it becomes stress.
Yeah, I have a question about I meditate and I saw the light, but the thing that is sometimes my mind is run away, but the light is still there. So this is the concentration is not enough, right?
Yes, you see, even thinking, we have concentration. Thinking, if you think very deeply, also sometimes light can appear. Light can appear also when you have a lot of energy. So light can appear for various reasons. When people's about to go mad, also can you see a lot of light? Not to frighten you, please. Don't feel frightened. So that's why we don't. It doesn't mean every light is good.
So the concentration is not enough.
Yeah. Sometimes it is possible. Sometimes we go into very deep thought. Deep thought, and then you feel very concentrated. That is a time that you don't blame. You blame your concentration aroused because of thought. You quickly switch object. Switch that concentration built by thought. Switch. But it's not easy. Once it becomes a habit, it's not easy. But if you're already in there, then quickly switch over. Thinking also can produce certain concentration. But if you get into the habit, it's a big problem. Because it's not easy to get out. So occasionally you're shifting from your meditation object, you may still have the light. But some concentration is there. I think so. I think you do have some concentration.
So Bhante, for these 2 days I practice focus on this, right? So after focus, this one, the focus point become color.
Color?
Yeah, the blue color come up.
Blue color. It doesn't matter what color. Color can be caused by our past experience, perception. So most people have white color, but it need not be so. It can be other color.
So I still focus on that color.
Yeah. No, on the breath first, until the color stabilize and merge with your breath. That means breath is color, color is breath. That is okay. Then the next step is you have to wait for it to stabilize. If you pay attention to it, it gets even brighter, that is stable. When you pay attention to it, it remains the same, that's stable. But if you pay attention to it, it produces a lot of changes. Dim or vibrate or shaking, and that's not stable.
It's stable.
If it is stable, then you can just pay attention. Switch your attention from breath to the color of breath.
Color of breath.
I don't see any color.
No, this is not a meditation competition retreat. You are best.
But actually, so only if we see color or light, does that mean we are making progress? Because I have been meditating for quite some time as well. I mean, I was using other techniques, but But I haven't seen any light or color. So does light or color signify progress, or because so that to keep yourself motivated to keep practicing, not stopping, thinking, oh, I'm not progressing on this path.
Usually, we advise students leave the report card to your teacher, to say whether you are progressing or not. But I know somehow, students, they only want to feel they are progressing. Actually, it's very difficult to judge. I want to tell you a story. One in Pa'ao, one meditator, old man, he practiced very hard for 6 months. He got no nimitta, black, nothing. But he practiced very hard. But it didn't mean that he didn't make good effort. He made good effort, but somehow the faculties balancing, it's just, everything is, sometimes when these things come because of some balance. So if you have strengthened all the 4, but you lack 1, you may still don't get anything at all. But all the 4 are progressing. Then somehow one day this thing come up and balance, then immediately. So this is my old man. He practiced for 6 months in Pao without any nimitta. So one day he walked to the end of the walking path and look at the trees. And I said, come on, can't I have nimitta? I just want to see nimitta, how it is like. He closed his eyes. Oh, very strong nimitta. The moment he closed his eyes, he saw the nimitta. Then he quickly went and meditated. And within few days, he just showed up to jhana.
Wow.
From zero. So how to judge progress? Some people, they have nimitta, have light for a long time, but they have the balancing already, but much lower. They all the time struggle here. After a long time also, they don't get jhana possible. But there are people who don't get the nimitta. The moment they get jhana. You have this. So how to judge? It's very difficult to judge. So what we do is we look at you. Are you more mindful? Are you having less defilements? Are you happier in your practice? These are the things that we know that this student is on the right track. That's it. Because it's very difficult to know how this progress, because it doesn't come in straight line. It comes in this way, and then your karma and this param, all the various factors. Sometimes you have everything ready, but you are in the wrong spot. Sometimes you just need to go to the right place, and then you practice your progress. Very strange. Something to do with the past karma. So these kind of conditionings in our life is unpredictable. It's too varies too much.
So basically, we should not crave for experiences. We should just keep practicing.
Yes. Keep purifying your mind.
Even craving is a problem, right? If we crave for experiences, then that also is an obstacle. If I crave, I want to see light, or I will not be able to meditate.
Yeah. Actually, you just tell us, every moment I pay attention here, my mind is pure. If I pay attention here, my mind is pure, free from worry, defilement, anxieties, whatever. So every moment you pay attention, you're pure.
Every time I hear people's experiences, I say, I don't see any light. I don't see any light.
Never mind. No problem. No problem. Don't worry. That's why I've heard, we are in a circle. We have heard a lot of various kind of stories and how people progress. That actually humbles us a lot. We start to realize conditioning is not something that ordinarily everyone can expect. You just do your job. Make sure every sitting you're pure. You pay attention to the object and make sure that during that time your mind is not defiled. You're making the right effort. The right effort. That's it. Okay. Cool.
Quick question for walking meditation. What do you recommend? Because I tried it once or twice. And compared to sitting meditation, where I sit down, I can focus and not worry about falling. And so when I tried walking meditation, I want to close my eyes, but I'm afraid that I'm going to hit something, or I walk out to the street. I want to see what is it you can recommend, so that way we can keep a balance of staying straight, focusing on here, and then not worry about.
You don't need to close your eyes. Yeah. No need to close your eyes. You can just normally pay attention. Yeah. Yeah. Walk normally. No need to be extra. Just walk normally. Yeah. Maybe a bit slower. But no need to be over too slow. Just be happy. Because for samatha, the still posture is the main posture. Lying, standing, and sitting. But lying, most people fall asleep. So standing and sitting. But standing, sometimes people sway if you are not used to it. So you can lean on against the wall, maybe like that. And then that's a good posture also. You don't need that again. But for those who are experienced and get used to standing, they can stand stable. Just pay attention here, they won't fall.
Bhante, for the lying posture, does your hand have to be in certain way, or do you want to lay straight or on the side, or doesn't matter?
Ideally, is a lion posture, like
the Buddha,
reclining on the right side. Ideally, but not everyone can do that. I personally find once I do like that, the left and right quite imbalanced.
Yes.
So sometimes I do like that. But nowadays I like sitting. But once you get used to taking, if we can sit long hours, then lying is not so important. Sitting is the best. Sitting is most well like pyramid,
And are there also the lights you see that's not the right light that you should avoid? Like some people, for example, sometimes see like a light that's everything's bright, and then sometimes I also see like it's just like a dot and then that's black around it, or it's black and then with light around it. I've heard people say that, oh, that's not the light, you should avoid it.
Actually, you don't need to worry about whether it is the correct light nimitta or it is not the correct nimitta. You see, the principle is very simple, here only. So if it is a light, let's say it is not the nimitta, but it superimpose and overlap here. Let's say whole is the whole body, or whole universe, it doesn't matter, But it's superimposed here. So I just pay attention. If it's very big also, I pay attention on this part of the light. So you can't go wrong. So assuming this is not nimitta, but it is some kind of light, or maybe influenced by outside light also possible. Sometimes outside light is like magnify, the impact. So you see easier to see light sometimes because when the light outside is bright. Sometimes. So it doesn't matter. Real light or false light, if you hear superimpose and you pay attention here, okay, now you focus here. If it is stable, you focus. So as long as you focus on, even if it is false light, you focus it continuously and here, this area, then after some time, even the immature nimitta becomes mature nimitta. It can happen. But if you have doubt, that is a problem. You should not have doubt. So I told people, don't go and question yourself whether it is real or not real. As long as you focus, you apply. See, the principle of getting concentration is focusing on a stable object continuously for a long time. So if you focus on it continuously for a long time, of course happiness is best, if you're happy, then naturally your concentration will pick up. So even the light which is not the real light will turn into real light. But if you doubt, even the real nimitta will turn into it will disappear. So stick to the principle of concentration is better. Don't worry about real or not real, don't go and question. If you think it is and you assume it is and you focus wholeheartedly, continuously without distraction, eventually you definitely will reach the right direction. So that's why I say very simple. Here only, whether it's a light or it's a breath, it doesn't matter, but it must be stable object. Usually the nimitta is more stable than breath. Breath is still have in and out, whatever. But you have to start from somewhere. If you suddenly take a very still object, let's say here, some people use here, but we don't advise because it involves different technique. So you pay attention here. Because it's still, it's not easy to not moving, to arouse strong mindfulness. So in and out is good. You can arouse mindfulness. But eventually, We don't care about it at all. Eventually, it is the focusing point that is important. But the breath is different. Breath has the advantage because it's neutral. It doesn't come with a certain characteristic of the elements, earth, water, fire, wind. It's neutral. Of course, you can look at the elements also, but not easy to pay attention to the elements of the breath as for beginners. So usually those elements won't trouble you. So it's a very good object.
Okay. Is it necessary for us to become fully vegetarian in order for us to practice meditation?
Not necessary. But because I don't know, different people, different. Some of my students just need meat. They say the blood type, My blood type, people say it's natural vegetarian. For me, for myself, vegetarian food is very good for my meditation. But I can't say for others. So because people are different.
Yes, it's not like a required.
No, I don't think it's a requirement. But I think generally it is good. Generally, it's helpful. You can try out for yourself. But some people when they don't have meat, the body cannot function very well. I don't understand. But we have to respect people who are different from us.
Maybe one last question for Bhante before.
Okay.
Yeah. When we lie down, for meditate, so as you said that it's very easy to fall before I sleep. So how can we continue?
Now if you really cannot, you sleep and then after you wake up, then you continue.
It's very hard. Every night I lie down and I meditate before I go to sleep. But yeah. After I concentrate and then I fall asleep immediately.
So you see, if sleeping hours is okay, sleeping hours is lying down and sleep is okay. But I have one student who came from the northeast of China, Harbin, Harbin. Her daughter was my student, and she couldn't sit straight. When she sit like that, within a few minutes, her back couldn't. It's an old lady. Her mother is I think now is 70 over. So when she went to Nepal in the monastery, so I arranged for her one corner in the meditation hall, and let her have her pillow and sleep.
Oh, wow.
So she just lie down there and meditate. She couldn't sit meditating. She had to lie down all the time. Sometimes she lie down for 6 hours.
Wow.
Continuously meditate for 6 hours without going to washroom. She would just meditate. She could meditate long hours. She practiced up to the point she see past life and future.
Wow.
She could practice up to neither perception nor non-perception in lying position. Because it's not possible to sleep whole day. I just give her you sleep. Sometimes she fell asleep. We heard her story. After that, when she woke up, she continued her practice. But even such an old lady could progress. So you never know.
So, wow, so it is true that once they reach the fourth jhana, that is one of the abhinya that come with it, is that they can see the past life.
No, that's not abhinya.
That's not abhinya?
That's not abhinya. Seeing past life is not abhinya.
Really?
Yeah. The abhinya, you need deeper practice to have that. This is not abhinya.
So, that's sorry about that. So how do they know if they are not hallucinating or dreaming?
You see, there's this seeing the past life. We have a systematic way. For example, now when you look at the stars, how sure are you that you are not dreaming about the stars? You know the Zhuangzi, Chinese philosopher. Zhuangzi said, are we dreaming? He dreamt of a butterfly.
Yes.
Are we dreaming of that butterfly, or is the butterfly dreaming about me?
That's right.
But it's very clear, seeing is seeing. But usually there's systematic way lah. If you want to see a past life, we have a systematic way teaching you how to trace. When you open a tap, then you trace the pipe to the source, and then this come from this water tank. Things like that. Nama rupa, it's all in the flow.
Yes.
Your flow doesn't mix with his flow. Her flow.
Okay.
It's very clear. There's a lot of ways to check. Lots of ways to check. Seeing past life and the dream is different, and the kind of hypnosis.
Yes, hypnosis.
They are different. Hypnosis are not reliable. They are good, but not reliable.
Grateful for your teaching, and that we hope in the near future, if there's a right enough condition, we like to welcome you back, and hopefully we will have a chance to learn from Bhante. And we, in our group, we want to offer this monastery to the full representative, the Sangha, and maybe we can give it to the Kapia, Brother Lu. So we just want to wish you a good trip back, and hope to have a safe trip, and hope to see you again in the near future, Bhante. Thank you.
Sharing of marriage.
Oh, your mother's name?
Aurora.
Aurora. She is 79?
74.
74.
Okay. We share our marriage on these few days, these 2 days, learning the Dhamma, and offerings, meditation, and keeping the sila. And all these sharing marriage with our brothers, mother Aurora, age 74, and may she be well. And what else you wish? Okay, health, right? Yeah, we wish her good health. And similarly for all others, all our relatives and devas, etc. So recite after me the Pali. First, in this case, we share merits and ask the relatives to rejoice first. Idang me nyati nang hotu.
Idang me yati nang hotu.
Sukita hontu nyatayo.
Sukita hontu nyatayo.
Idang me nyati nang hotu.
Idang me nyati nang hotu.
Sukita hontu nyatayo.
Sukita hontu nyatayo.
Idang me nyati nang hotu.
Idang me yati nang hotu.
Sukita hontu nyatayo.
Sukita hontu nyatayo.
We also share merits with the devas and with all these. Ettavata cha amehi.
Ettavata cha amehi.
Sambatang punya sampadang.
Sambatang punya sampadang.
Sabbe deva anumodantu.
Sabbe deva anumodantu.
Sabba sampatti siddhya.
Sabba sampatti siddhya.
Ettavata cha amehi.
Ettavata cha amehi.
Sambatang punya sampadang.
Sambatang punya sampadang.
Sabbe bhutanumodantu.
Sabbe bhutanumodantu.
Sabba sampatti siddhya.
Sabba sampatti siddhya.
Ettavata cha amehi.
Ettavata cha amehi.
Sambatang punya sampadang.
Sambatang punya sampadang.
Sabbe satta anumodantu.
Sabbe satta anumodantu.
Sabba sampatti siddhya.
Sabba sampatti siddhya.
Dhamma, we always like to make aspirations. This is one aspiration always made by the practitioners and even the Bodhisattva. That is to not to associate with the ignorant one, to associate with the wise until you get the security of Nibbana. Now, for this we need to have explanation. Otherwise, we may feel proud. Oh, I'm wise, other people are ignorant. We don't think like that. But also, we never, first of all, we never consider anyone ignorant to be permanently ignorant. That's permanence view, which is not true. People can change and people can transform. And we also don't have lose compassion towards people who are ignorant. But this is a practical approach in the Dhamma where we don't want to have a kind of Chinese we say yuan, a karmic link to come together when in a way that we harm others or other people will harm us. This kind of unbeneficial relationship we try to stay away. But at the time when we are in a position to help others, that is okay. So in the Dhammapada, the Buddha said only a person who is ignorant is not really that ignorant if he knows himself as not as ignorant and wanting to progress. That is still a wise man. Only when a person who is ignorant and believing that he or herself is wise, such a person is beyond is difficult to help. So this wish is not to despise others, but to have a practical human relationship. We don't want to associate when we can't help people and people can't help us. So sometimes, let's say if you are born in certain places where you don't have a freedom of religion, you don't have a freedom to learn, to freedom to think, freedom to to pursue to explore even a new idea, new views. So everything is imposed upon you. Then what can you do? If you are born in that situation, you try to do something different, you get killed. So these are the situations that we want to stay away from. It doesn't mean that we want to look down. One day, we always have the wish as a Buddhist that if we are capable and we are able, we always want to help other people to come to the light. This is the way. So with this understanding as our background, we can make this wish. Not with pride, not with the self, not with permanence view, not without compassion. But in fact, we have more compassion to other people. Hopefully that with that compassion we feel motivated to strive in the Dhamma. Hopefully our ability to help others will increase. So with that understanding we make this wish. With the power of these merits, may I not associate with the ignorant one or unbeneficial relationship and associate with the wise until I get the security of Nibbana, which means at least attain first stage of sainthood, Sotapan, because the Sotapan will never be reborn in the woeful realms forever. Within 7 lifetimes, 7 existences, he will definitely be liberated and become Arahant. His attainment is irreversible. So that's understanding. So with that, let's make this wish. We should also make by Bodhisattva. May these merits enable me not to associate with the ignorant one, to associate with the wise, until I secure myself with the attainment of Nibbana. Imina punya kamena mame bala samagamo satang samagamo hotu yawa nibbana patiya. Okay, then we make wish sometime when we have a lot of merit. Sometimes life turns very good for us. There's a time people can be heedless and negligent. So we always want to link our merits with this wish. May these merits enable me to purify myself from all defilement and causes of suffering. So with that, in future when good things happen to us, we will continue to move from light to light. So we want to tag our merits with this wish. Idang me punya asawakaya ahang hotu. So when we perform for marriage is punya. Punya is not good enough. Punya can bring us all the good, but we may go round and round in the cycle. If you want to vivata kama, the punya kind of punya, which is out of the cycle of birth and death, so that we move from light to light, we make a wish. May this pure punya, pure marriage, be a condition, a supporting condition for the realization of the peaceful happiness, nibbana. So with this wish, and back to our pure marriage. Pure marriage means before you perform, during the performance, and after that, it is pure. And also it is pure from without having craving, conceit, and wrong view of I. So with this kind of marriage, which is pure, and back with this kind of wish, then it turns into real powerful parami. Parami is sure good. Punya may still give us good, but that good may mislead us. But it is possible we get misled by good experiences. But parami, no. Whatever good experience come to us, we can have those good experiences, but we will continue to move towards the light. This is the power of parami, difference of parami to punya, the merit, ordinary merit. So let's perform parami together. May this merit be a supporting condition for my realization of nibbana, the peaceful happiness. Idang me punyang, nibbana sa, pacayo hotu. And while we share merits and make aspirations, this is also meritorious. So one more time, we invite all beings to rejoice in our merits, and may they get an equal share of our merit. Mama punya bagang, sabba satana, bajemi, me sabe, me sama, punya bagang, labantu, sabbi diyo iwa jandu, sabba rogo vinasatu. Mate bhavantarayo sukhi digayuko bhava. Bhavatu sabba mangalam rakhantu sabba devata. Sabba buddhanubhavena sada sutti bhavantu te. Bhavatu sabba mangalam rakhantu sabba devata. Sabba dhammanubhavena sada sutti bhavantu te. Bhavatu sabba mangalam rakhantu sabba devata. Sabba sanganubhavena sada sutti bhavantu te. Abhivadana sili saniccang uddapacayino. Chattaro dhamma vadanti ayuvanno sukhang balang. Ayurarogya sampatti sagga sampatti mevacha. Ato nibbana sampatti iminate samicatu.